Hey guys, thanks again for visiting Saints, Priests, and Watchmen. Today, the discussion is about the Prodigal Son. We have a ministry called Prodigal Sons Ministry. It's mainly a Christian motorcycle club, but it involves sober living and helping people to overcome addiction and follow Christ. And it can be very hard to do and very confusing. And it can be a really rough path. People can change their lives and start doing the right things, doing all the right things, and have trouble, things that they have to deal with. For some people that were in active addiction or alcoholism, they sober up and they expect everything to just magically be better. And there's this process that has to take place. And it's really hard to understand, and it can lead to resentment towards God because you find yourself scratching at the surface. You find yourself desperate or even destitute. And there's a reason for that. A perfectly good reason that's biblically explained. We just have to go through the process of it to fully comprehend it. There's this why. It's like people will say, Sean, man, I've quit drinking, I've quit using, and all these things are not right. Normally by now, my life would be so much better than this. I don't understand why I'm stuck in this depressive low mode. It goes beyond the so in the scientific world you have post-acute withdrawal syndrome. So they're going through this depressive process in their physiological being, and on top of it they're having to deal with rejection from people, probably for good reason, and things that they had done wrong. I mean, there's so many dynamics to this, but I'm trying to get to the meat of what really matters here. So I thought the Prodigal Son is the perfect story to read, and we're going to break it down a little bit in a very practical way to help us understand why and what this process is. So we're in Luke 15, and I'm reading from the NIV UK, starting in verse 11. It says, Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had and set off for a distant country, and there squandered all his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him, ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." So we can see in here, there's a couple things going on. One thing to pay attention to for the people that are becoming impatient about God responding positively in your life and giving you these illustrious blessings, it says that while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. You see, so while he was still a long way off, and so that's us. We went and squandered all the blessings that God had given us, all the provisions he gave us. We squandered it away, living in a life of sin, and the turmoil overtook us. And we came to the realization that, hey, this is not sustainable. This isn't going to work. So we turn from that and repent, and we want to go back home. But we expect to see the scene where the father is embracing the son. Like, we envision ourselves as immediately being embraced and everything being hunky-dory, and we got grilled meat to eat, we got a robe and sandals and a ring. And the biggest thing to consider is, how far off did I wander? How many miles did I travel when I left? Because I have to make my way back. And it says, while he was still a far way off. So the heart of God is to give me the compassion, but he has to see me in the distance. How far off did I go? Because however far off I went, I've got to make my way back. I have to be on the path back home to my Father. And at some point, I'll have breakthrough. And I have to be patient. And that's just the way it is. I have to be willing to humble myself and accept whatever it is that comes my way during the process of this return. And there is a physical side too. Pause is a real thing. For people who were in active addiction, depending on how long you used is depending on how long it's going to take for you to recover. I mean, if we were willing to put substances into our bodies to make us feel a certain way for a certain period of time, how patient are we willing to be to allow these pause symptoms to go away and for us to have normal dopamine levels and a healthy brain again? So these two things kind of coincide. There's a lot of people who have lived in active addiction and alcoholism that are followers of Jesus, that turn from their sin or sin lifestyle and also quit using alcohol and drugs. And they're looking for both of these remedies immediately. And the thing is that we have to be patient and willing to consider the fact that it's going to take the time it's going to take. And we have to be willing to stay on the path, keep a positive mindset, and not allow the devil to veer us off of this path. The robe and the sandals and the ring are there. I'm telling you, they're there. They're not going anywhere, and they've got your name on them. You just have to be willing to wait for him to see you in the distance. And that's exactly when you'll feel the gates of heaven opening up and these opportunities coming your way. So it's not that he's angry with you. He's already forgiven you and he's ready to welcome us back with open arms. But we have to return. We have to turn, get on the path to home and return home. And when we get home, we'll have all of that. Guaranteed. Jesus wouldn't have told this story if it wasn't 100% accurate. That is the heart of our God. And as far as emotional and physical and mental healing, dopamine is a real thing. So when we are in active addiction and we're using, depending on how much we're using and what we're using, is going to be dependent upon how much damage we do and how long it takes to repair itself. But when it does, we're guaranteed a healthy mind. We're guaranteed that dopamine. It's going to happen. So I can see in really bad cases, they say like up to 1.5 to 2 years, you could be dealing with post-acute withdrawal syndrome. And it's very disorienting. You can have brain fog. I mean, look it up. There's all kinds of different issues that you can be suffering from. But there is light at the end of that tunnel, and it's worth it. It's worth the effort, and it is works in this case. Grace isn't necessarily going to help us here. It is works. We have to work at maintaining a sobriety. We have to work at staying on the path back to Christ. And the evidence that we walk with Christ is that we're on the path headed to him. We have to forgive ourselves from mistakes we've made. No one is perfect. No one. We're going to make mistakes, sometimes big ones, and that's okay. It's totally okay. When we turn from that and do the best that we can do, man, there's no greater thing. I mean, choirs of angels sing in heaven when we decide to dedicate our lives to goodness and purity and things that are godly and good. When we want to be peacemakers and do the next right thing. So, if you know anybody that is in active addiction or has been in active addiction of any kind, that's struggling, or somebody that has resentments with God, they've left him, and they want to return, they've just got mixed feelings, this video could really bless them, because it could give them some insight that could answer some of their questions. So anyway, I love that you guys visit the channel. Thank you so much for visiting Saints, Priests, and Watchmen. If you guys know anybody that could benefit from hearing these videos, please share them with them. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.